Alright, Internet. We're going on a garden tour. I've posted some things on Reddit, and some of the responses have been, you should make a YouTube of this. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to show you my setup here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's currently 101 degrees, so I am watering. So there's some hoses and crap laying around the yard, but I'll show you what I got. This bed right here is tomatoes. I have 10 or 11 plants. I don't know, I lost track. I'm trying a couple of different things. I've got indeterminate tomatoes. I've got determinate tomatoes here in the cages that you can see. These are actually Oregon spring tomatoes. And the cool part about all these tomatoes is these were all started December 15th. Today's date is May 4th, 2017. I started all of these from seed. At one point I had between 180 and 200 tomato seedlings. I had them in solo cups, I had them in foam cups. I was selling them and giving them away to coworkers. Unfortunately, in February we had a freeze, and that is rare here. The forecast was only supposed to be 37 or 38. I thought my tomatoes could handle it. They'd been hardening off for quite a while. Got up in the morning and they were all frostbitten. So these are all a little smaller than they should be. But we've got lots and lots of green tomatoes set on. I'm really looking forward to this. I've got these Oregon Springs that I told you about earlier. I've got San Marzano paste tomatoes going on. I've actually got 3 plants here. Got a lot of tomatoes. I've got some Better Boy. If you can see that with the sun, I'm not sure. Got some Better Boy, and we've also got some Garden Monster, which is a beefsteak style hybrid, but they should still produce some pretty sweet tomatoes. Now what I'm doing here is a couple of different things. I've got the trellises. Let me zoom out so you can see the trellises. These trellises are made out of 1/2 inch EMT conduit. You can find this at your local big box store, Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's, and it's connected with these 90s. So you can get these in your electrical aisle. Now the way that I've attached them is just 1/2 inch clamps. So real easy. You can see there's holes there in the rest of the bed from previous years. And the thing that I've done this year is I got this bamboo shade screen from a neighbor. These are kind of expensive as far as I'm concerned because I'm really cheap. But a neighbor was throwing it out. I took it. I made a little pagoda up there. And again, the sun angle is pretty bad right now. But as far as day to day, these give good shade to my tomatoes because living here in Arizona, partial sun is equal to full sun. In addition to this plastic that I've used it before in the past on other things as a trellis, I'm also trying this Florida weave. So what I've done is I have multiple layers of sisal twine tied between the posts, and then as they get tall enough, I put up the main stem in between the sisal twine, and that's what provides these plants the support. I do have to come out every day. It takes about 5 minutes tops. Pull the suckers off. I don't think I have any here because I already did it this morning. But we're going dual stem on each plant. So I have 1, 2, 3. I guess I'm doing 3 stems on each. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What you're looking at is 2 plants right here. Again, those are my tomatoes. That's probably fist-sized. Maybe a little smaller. Over here I've got mammoth dill. The dill has been exciting. I planted that last fall sometime. Not quite sure when, but it's doing great. I've got 2 paper grocery sacks of dill drying right now. And then I might just cut it out. I don't need that much dill. I've got about a pound's worth right now. In between the dill, you will see sweet corn planted. I believe this is peaches and cream. I can't remember. You'll see my irrigation. I'll talk about my irrigation system here in a later video. Over here in my little tiny 2x4 bed, this is onions and garlics, my little alliums bed. The garlic was planted last August, some of which came from my dad. Other garlic came from the store. Kind of doing an experiment here, just like all gardening. We're going to find out which one grows better. And then over there we've got 2-year-old onions. Onions that I grew. They weren't very good. We didn't eat them. Planted them back last August. Compost tumbler. Compost bin. Pretty empty right now. Mostly full of garden soil. Here we have some corn. This corn was also planted before that frost. And the ones that are tasseling are actually the ones that survived. We've got about 5 ears of corn on now. And then you will see some smaller corn. Not yet tasseling, but doing okay. And that's corn that I replanted after the frost. We got one remaining lettuce there. That's going to bolt any second now if it hasn't already. And then carrots. Over here we have the remnants of my Hopi blue corn in this raised bed. And then basil and jalapeno peppers. I like the tomato cages that you can get anywhere. I like those for jalapeno peppers. They're not too big, they're not too small. They keep the jalapenos contained. Here you'll see some red Pontiac potatoes, plus the hose that's watering them. These potatoes look terrible. Not only do they have a bunch of Bermuda grass, which is what my lawn consists of, but these potatoes picked up some sort of early blight and have been suffering ever since. You see the potato fork there, my dad harvested some. Not a single one was bigger than golf balls. I think it was a little early, but we're going to see what happens with these potatoes. I'm probably not going to grow potatoes again for a couple years, and I'm definitely not going to grow tomatoes here just in case that's blight. Got some marigolds, some zinnias, some really slow growing cucumbers. These were also started about January. It's now May. The information on the seed packet said 55 days. We're now at 100 days, and they're just now starting to flower. So who knows what happens with the cucumbers. Again, I showed you the dill. I was supposed to make dill pickles with these, all from the garden. Probably not going to happen. Now over here by the shed, we've got more tomatoes. We've got more heirloom tomatoes. These are beefsteaks. These are doing wonderfully. Again, single stem trellis. Actually not single stem, more like 3 stem per plant trellis on this garden netting. We've got San Marzano tomatoes. You see them down here, little paste tomatoes, supposed to be great for sauce. Over there, I want to say is Better Boy, can't recall. But the real pride and joy here is some Hopi blue corn. And I got half these seeds from a friend of mine. I've got the clothesline in the way, I'll move that. And you'll see that the corn is about as tall as I am, which is great. The cool thing about this corn is some of the plants are actually blue. More of a deep purple, but they're definitely not green like you expect corn to be. So right now I've got about 80 Hopi corn growing. This is my only in-ground bed. I showed you the other ones, but let's see if we can get a picture of the tassels. Here we go. So here, if I can get my big head out of the way, here's a tassel of those blue corns that grow blue. The pollen, the silks, are actually almost a purple color. Here's another one. And down there, under all the mulch, you see those same PVC irrigation pipes that I've been using. I've also got them over here between the tomatoes. So I've got lots of mulch. I'm growing on top of clay. We'll see if that retains any of the moisture. Here's a quick shot of the chicken coop. I'll give you guys some more information about that. I don't want this video to be too long. But over here, these are blue potatoes. I'm not sure which variety. You'll see those two over there are limp, just like the red Pontiac potatoes were. Whereas this bush is doing well, starting to flower. We should have potatoes out of this one. Last but not least, I've got these onions. There's actually 77 onions in this bed. This bed is 3 foot by 4 foot. They're all laid down because the cat likes to come out and lay in the wet soil, which is okay because I've got nice golf ball to baseball sized bulbs going. I've got some things that will be great for tasty green onions. Personally, I don't like green onions, but my wife does. So that's the garden summary. One more peek at the chicken coop real quick before I let you go. Here's our waterer. I'll maybe do another video and show you how I made that. We've got the misters going. Like I said, it's about 101 degrees here. And here are the chickens. These chickens eat all of our garden waste. They're super helpful. And they're not camera shy either. So that's the garden update. Thanks for watching.